You don't have to lean in.
There's a difference between desire
There.
and character.
Wow. Stop that. What in the world? Desire and character? Yeah,
Yep.
that's what we're talking about today.
What's the difference?
Well, desire is everywhere.
Yep.
Desire is, I keep wanting to look on this side when the camera's up there.
Camera's up there.
I know. Desire
Sex.
is
I desire sex.
For sex.
I desire beer. I desire parties.
You do?
I'm just trying to run through every commercial in my brain.
Oh,
of
yeah.
What
They're
I
wanting
actually
you to
desire.
desire these things.
I desire fragrances.
Are these the things that make us fall in love?
I desire everyone to use poopery.
Desire. Yeah. Do we fall in love with desire? Or do we fall in love? Is love have to do with desire? Or
Yes,
is it
I would say
desire?
the very, very beginning of a relationship, it has to do with desire. You
Gotta be
are
attractive.
and I want to desire your body
Oh, wow.
on my body. But but it starts there, and I'd say that runs you through a good, 6 days or 6 days. I'm joking.
Oh, I thought you were going to say 6 to 8 months or so. The desire.
The desire.
But what keeps you there?
All right, so
Does desire keep you there for 10 years?
no.
Does desire keep you there for 20 or 50?
And I think that's the big misnomer, is that we fall out in love with our spouse or we don't desire them anymore. I think the problem is that you are mixing up lust and desire. You will
You mean desire?
desire and lust, that you're combining them
Okay,
rather
yeah.
than just, it's okay to desire your spouse. It's actually okay to lust after them. And you'll go through seasons where you are insane, or you go through season where it might be a little bit of a dry spell and you have to schedule sex. Or the next week after that, you'll have sex every single day. And
does
that's
that
just
mean-
kind of a thing.
Does that mean you don't love your
That
spouse?
has nothing to do with how you love your spouse now. It has everything to do with infatuation and desire and falling in love with your spouse. So I would say the more you communicate, the more you go out on dates, the more that you do things with your spouse, you will initiate that lust/desire feeling, and you'll want to be more intimate together because you are doing all the other intimacy things, and then sex is the byproduct of all the other intimacy things, not just I want to have sex. And
But that
men
does
don't
not
kind of
sustain
get that.
a marriage.
Right. And no, it doesn't sustain a marriage at all. So the difference, and I would say that most men, I'll pick on my sex, most men don't understand that your spouse desires to fall in love with your character, not your body. Even though my body is amazing, and there are times that she just wants my body, let's be honest, because who doesn't? But she really
I
wants
think a lot of people probably
my character.
don't want.
If you don't want my body, turn this off now.
No, I don't want people to stop. Oh my word. But it's true. It's character is what sustains things, because character is who you really are. It's
Right.
your integrity. It's your sustainable behaviors. It doesn't mean that you're not going to make a mistake. It doesn't mean you're not going to fail, but your character to pick yourself up, to continue. My character will keep me married to Tim
Right.
because I have determined to be loyal, to be committed, to be dedicated, to be faithful.
Stuff I didn't know.
These are things that
First time I've ever heard it. Later we're gonna have sex because that's how the intimacy thing works, and that's how sex works, because you have an intimacy thing together, not naked, and then you go.
I
have
will
naked
say that
things.
we're kind of going to go off on some little tangents. I will say that though, just because when Tim and I have these conversations, even in front of the camera, we do talk about things, or he'll mention things that I didn't even think he noticed, or things he really loves about me, or vice versa, and that creates more intimacy.
Yeah.
Because if you're not having those conversations, I get you're not having it to other people in front of a camera like we are every Monday, but by having those conversations, you're like,
I get
never
to
knew you
know,
thought
and
that.
she gets to know
Yeah.
the character. And that's
Yeah.
exactly what we're talking about. Things that you never knew. Like, for example, when we make love, the only color in my brain is purple. Why? Because it's her favorite color. But
That's what you think?
if she didn't know that, so that builds intimacy and then shows that my character, that I consider her, while we're getting busy, I consider her favorite things all of the time.
Aww.
Boom. See?
Wow.
That's how it's done, man.
Oh my goodness. That's pretty cool. That's pretty cool.
But understand that
yeah.
that I am attracted to my wife physically, emotionally, spiritually, and sexually, but I'm also really attracted and drawn to her character. It is also my job as the head of the household to help her with character issues, and she helps me with my character issues. Not attacking,
or
but just,
dictatorship, or telling you,
yeah,
or controlling,
hey,
or telling you what to do.
You're a selfish person. That doesn't really help anyone with the character
No.
of being selfish. But
It's
saying, hey, you know what? I think we should try and be third here during Thanksgiving and give to food banks. That would more an assist to her character building than anything.
And it would show his character, and like, oh, that's so sweet, and I'm really in love with his character.
Right.
It's not any necessarily behavior that he's done. It's not his personality even. It's his in-depth, ingrained character of who he is. So this also kind of points back to, what is your own character?
Yeah.
Are you... And my phone's ringing.
I'll go shut that.
Okay. What does your character say about you? Do you need to work on your own character? Would you be in love with you? What are you doing that would make your spouse fall in love with your character? Do you have high integrity? Or are you cheating the system? Are you, do you beat your kids behind your back, behind everybody's back, and then you go to church and get in the church and we're all going to raise our hands and blah, 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 blah.
Hey, that's how I grew
Are you
up.
hypocritical? But you know what I mean? It's, what does your character say about your relationship and who you are? Because your character will sustain a 50-year marriage if
Right.
you have good character.
Right.
The desire, the lust, the infatuation, it comes and goes, and it's fun. There's nothing wrong with it, but it won't sustain. My gosh, the cat scared me. But it won't sustain you, so.
Right. And you're put on this planet with the person that you've chosen with, who is the one that God has for you. See how that works? You chose them and they become the one. There's not another person out there. This is the one that you've chosen.
I married the wrong one. Nope.
There is no wrong one.
Once you get married, that's the one.
And so as long as you know that, you are going to naturally fall in love with her character. Now, men, here's the caveat that you need to hear, that when your wife wants to have conversations and they want to know your feelings, what they're trying to do is understand your character. And if they understand your character, they fall deep in love with you and they jump on you at 2 o'clock in the morning. This is why I'm tired and my foot hurts. She's jumping on the bed on top.
No. But say a little prayer for his foot. We don't know what's wrong with it.
It
He sprained it or what?
But
It was
just
not sexually related.
it's not sex. Do not send me to the ER.
That's awesome.
But really understand that. And so last week we talked about knowing yourself and who you are. This actually goes along with, if you know what kind of character you have or the traits that you desire, you can have the conversation of, hey, I think I need to work on my integrity. Can you help me out with that? And that would actually bond you together very, very quickly.
That's being vulnerable.
Right, yeah.
It might be a little humbling for a husband to do that.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
it's kind of like
praying
praying to God for patience as well.
Yeah.
He's going to give you opportunities to be patient. You're not just going to magically be patient.
Yeah.
So it's the same thing. If you're working on your integrity, then you're going to have opportunities to where you need to be integrous, and then that's what your spouse is for, to lean on. The same thing is, if she's going through an addiction issue, she can lean on me and go, hey, I feel like I'm getting addicted to eggs, and I just want to ask your permission before I have any eggs because I'm eating like 7 dozen a day. But you kind of get the idea. Or I'm drinking too much wine because the kids are driving me nuts. I need you to help me be integrous. Or kind of be whatever the issue. I'm playing too many video games and I'm not spending time with my spouse. I'm going to ask permission. So it's that.
And be okay with it. Be gracious.
Me falling in love with her character and her falling in love with my character, and at the same time becoming a supportive role in that. And that's what's really going to build intimacy. It's going to affair-proof your marriage. It's going to give you the oogly googly feelings again, because somebody knows you inside and out. And that really removes the D word, divorce, off of the table, because you're not even thinking that way. You're not thinking, here in this argument, I want to get a divorce.
Because I know my character is not going to leave, and I know his character, he's not going to leave. So we can be honest with each other during a disagreement or a conflict, knowing that that's not, that's not going to happen. it's off the table. So we can really be honest. Let's get to the bottom of this and move on.
Right. And that, again, we talked about that last week, is that that forces us to solve our problems without giving up.
Yep.
And that's part of our character, and that's really why we
Yes.
love one another. That's why I'm an entrepreneur. I don't give up very easily. I push and hustle through it. And so the same thing with your marriage. If you don't want to give up on your marriage, but your spouse is kind of wishy-washy on it, then it has to do with their character.
Yes.
It does not have to do with their desire.
Right.
And so understand what the difference is. I want you, or I want to fall in love with your character, is vastly different.
Yep. That's good.
All right.
Okay, so we got some good topics coming up in the next few weeks. But if you have if you have a topic you'd like us to cover or a question, feel free to message us at any time. You can get more information, more really intimate stuff over at haveamarriage.com. You can follow us on Instagram and Twitter.
You can
and all
ask
those
to join
things.
our private face group page where
Yep.
we talk about dirty things. And if you haven't been on a date in a while, go to Get Date Box, type in Have a Marriage 50 for 50% off of your first date. And I advise it because usually you'll have sex. Why not?
All right, we love you guys, and we will see you next Monday.
Oh, it's Monday?